How's it going, everybody? On today's video, I finally get my hands on a pedal I've been trying to get for quite a few years now, and that will be the TC Electronic MIMIQ, which is a doubler pedal. And let's learn about this together, shall we? Let's take a closer look. Okay, let's take a closer look at the MIMIQ Doubler by TC Electronic. And here it is. Get the pedal. Let's take this right out. It has a cool textured finish in this cool gray, which I really like. I'll explain the outputs and inputs and stuff in just a moment. Let me just show you what comes with the pedal. It's a USB cable. It's one of those, I believe, mini. So it's not the small, it's like the medium size one for you to update in case there's a firmware or something that you need to update. And inside here, well, kind of hard to take out now, but that's the instructions manual. It did come with a sticker, which now lives here. All right, so about the MIMIQ itself, let's see. First of all, you get 3 knobs, right? And you get you get a mini switch, which has 3 positions. You get stereo inputs and stereo outputs. The way this works, it's very interesting because I believe, I'm not sure if I should call it like an algorithm or some sort of AI going on here. Keep in mind, this pedal has been around for quite a while though. And it's, well, you can see it's true bypass, even though I believe you can turn that off and turn it into some sort of a buffered bypass. If you go inside, these guys, you open the battery or the back using a pick or a coin. And here's the whole idea, all right? You have, let's think of these 2 knobs as your guitars, okay? So guitar 1 or guitar 2. And the best way to use the pedal, in my opinion, is to use it in stereo. So it has 2 outputs, and basically, you can think as this effect will work with this guy, and the dry will work with this guy. Dry is your real guitar, effect is the effected guitar. What it does, it sort of mimics what you're playing. It sort of like gives it dynamics, so it slows down for a little bit. Maybe it gets louder at some point. So it basically gives you the feeling that it's a different person or yourself recording even though you're just recording the same thing. It gives you the impression or the feeling that it's 2 people playing at the same time. That's the whole point of the doubler, okay? And then you have this guy called tightness. The more anti-clockwise you go, it's basically, this is perfect. Perfect mimicking, so to speak. So if these 2 guys are all the way up and this is all the way down, it's basically, just like having a copy of the dry signal over here, okay? The more you go clockwise, that, the joke TC Electronic has, I've seen in the videos, is how many beers has the other guy had. Basically, this means how quote unquote human you want this to be, okay? And the sweet spot for me is around, say, 1 or 1:30 p.m. Let's call it that way. And this is the way I would record because I'm double tracking all the time, usually even quad tracking. So I will, connect this to channel 1 here on my SSL2 Plus from Solid State Logic. So channel 1 and channel 2, that's where these guys will go. Same volumes, tightness here over at 1:30 p.m. And you get, to me, the best doubling effect in the market so far, because I've seen it in other pedals. I've tried a few other options, and this is quite ahead of them, even though, like I said, it's been out for a while. So that's the way I will do it. And since I quad track, I actually will do this twice. So I will do this, say, with a particular setting from my Strymon Iridium for the outer guitars, and then for the sort of in the middle guitars, I will maybe, I don't know, change the amp or the cap. So I have 4 guitars. So basically what it does, it saves you 50% of the time in recording. This is, of course, unless you have parts where the guitars have harmonies. In that case, you can just record the harmony and, just replace it where it needs to go. So no big deal there. The other thing that it has is dubs, okay? And I personally don't recommend, because there's a mini version of this guy, which is not stereo. So it's just sort of a pedal made to thicken your tone, so to speak. So you get the dubs, which means how many guitars. So guitars are being played at the same time. I always use it on 1, but if I wanted to do a quick quad track, I will do number 2. So 2 guitars. I will do the effect, which is the second guitar. I'll put a new one, this guy all the way up, and I'll have the tightness like at 11 a.m. So, and I will go out in mono to channel 1 of my interface, okay? So I'll do the left guitar like this, and then I'll do the same thing, and I'll put it to the right. So that's the way I will sort of quote unquote do a quad track. If I don't want to do it the other way, which I just showed you, which is just using 1 and recording in stereo twice. However, that mini version I was telling you about doesn't have the stereo output. So basically all you get is these dubs. So you get sort of I've played it and I didn't really like it, just my thoughts. Sounds like a chorus pedal, even though this guy helps not to. Still, it's just a thickening or a pedal to thicker your sound. So not quite the ideal. I would much rather have like a delay pedal set up with a very short delay if I wanted to get that. But get the big one. That's my piece of advice. And I will, later in the video, I'll talk about my thoughts about using this live. But you can already tell, if you are in a band with just 1 guitar and you're the only guitarist, this pedal will make you sound amazing, because you can go into 2 separate amps, which would be on stage. Say there's 2 Marshall amps on stage, or 2 power amps or whatever, and you can plug into both of them, and it's basically not just mimicking the exact same thing. Remember this guy, so it will make the audience feel like there are 2 guitars instead of 1. So that's what I would do. And now let's get back to my thoughts on the pedal, which, by the way, I really like. Alright, so before I show you the control demo, which is basically me actually double tracking the guitars like I would normally do, I'll be using my Kramer Baretta Special, and well, it's been heavily modded. It has quite a lot of cool stuff, and has an EMG 81 the bridge. It has the Vega tremp right there, and this guitar actually sounds really good. It's become one of my favorite guitars for heavy music. So right now the guitar is tuned to E standard. I'm using 11 through 48, I believe. Actually for this guitar I'm using Ernie Ball M steel strings. I'm trying them out. They sound really cool, especially for heavier stuff. They are very loud, so it's cool. It's like it helps you push the amp rather than having to use the booster pedal that much. So that's pretty cool. Right, so without further ado, let's take a look at this. Is what I will be playing on all demos, so I'll just let you see it for the control, and then the rest of the demonstration is basically I will post a picture of how the Iridium is set. By the way, the Iridium will be set the same way for every single of the clips, but what I'm trying to actually say is how the pedal, the MIMIQ pedal, is set up. So you'll get like I said, the control take, then you'll get the MIMIQ being split in stereo, so it's just one guitar on the left, one on the right, and also you will finally get what I was telling you right before, which is me recording one side with the overdub of two guitars, one lower than the other, and then the other side, and in the end you will be able to tell. You will have basically 3 videos to compare. So the original one, the way we've been all doing it for years. Number 2, if you use a pedal for the same purpose. And number 3, a cool way of sort of give you the the sensation that you've quad tracked the guitar. One cool thing though, the Iridium is a stereo pedal, so you can actually assign IR, cup sims and stuff like that. So you can do that and keep those settings and use the MIMIQ as well, so you get more of a variety in your tone. And before I go, this pedal it's also ideal if you play live. I am not currently playing live, however I have a few friends that play, say, I don't know, in a Pantera tribute, right? Let's say you are just guitar, bass, drums, and a vocalist, and this applies to any genre, but I'm just thinking about Pantera because a really good friend of mine who is also craving the pedal because of the same reasons. So if you are sort of like that, like a power trio, or just a band with one guitar, you can actually use the MIMIQ to drive the other amp, which is usually on stage. Usually when we get to a gig, at least here in South America or in Peru, there is, during the events, people that organize the events, they hire a backline. It's quite different from, I believe, the US and Europe, where most people take all of their own gear and they use their amps and their drums and stuff. Here it's a little bit different. So if you are in a band with just one guitarist, this guy will make your band sound really cool, because it will make you sound like there are 2 guys playing at the same time, and it really thickens up the tone, and it really makes it sound just more powerful. That's I mean, I've tried playing, these are very loud monitors, and just for fun I've been just playing some riffs as if they were played live, and you can play with the tightness, you can play with the overdubs, but basically, to be honest, my favorite setting is, like I said, tightness goes at 1 p.m. so the other guitarist is quite sober. And then you have both volume knobs or control knobs. Yeah, they're actually volume knobs, 100%. So you get the same level for guitar number 1, quote unquote, and guitar number 2, quote unquote. Okay, so thank you again for watching. What's coming next is are just the tone demos, where you will see the pictures I mentioned and the details on every picture. And again, if you like the channel, please just give me a thumbs up, subscribe. Like I always say, there's more guitar content coming your way. And thank you again for watching, and as always, stay metal. Alright guys, let's check this guy out. Really cool stuff. I highly recommend it. Get one.